welcome to a brand new edition of It's All Relative. I'm Josh.
And I'm Angela.
And today, we've been fortunate enough to be joined by independent filmmaker, owner, and creator of CrownedfoxProductions, along with CFP's cinematographer, co-writer, co-director, co-editor, and owner of False Finish Productions. We'll get to talk with each of them about the film industry, hear about some of their projects that they have created, as well as covering the filmmaking process. If you're a fan of filmmaking, movies, and good vibes, then you already know what to do. Turn it up and let's get it rolling with an all-new episode right here on the It's All Relative podcast. Well, it's been a month or so since we've been together in the studio. Lots has been happening. But before I address those, how has everything been with you, Angela?
It's good. It's very busy. It's cheering football season, so we have competition coming up in a week. My daughter, who is a cheerleader, is in the competition, and I am her coach, so it's extremely stressful. And there are a bunch of teeny bopper girls, 9 through 12, so it's a lot of hormones brewing.
Yeah.
A lot of attitude.
I bet. Now, when you say competition, real competition, like how serious is this? It's not like, it's serious, but it's not like, we don't push them as much as other teams do. But we go to competition, we go to a league competition. If you get first or second in your league division, you advance to regionals, and if you get first or second in regionals, you advance to nationals, which is in Florida. That's the ultimate goal. Awesome.
Our team hasn't had that since 2012, the opportunity to go down there, so I'm really hoping to push. I've been working really hard on my routine that I created and choreographed for the girls, so fingers crossed.
All right, well, good luck with that, and shout out to them. We've hit fall time, hoodies, football, Halloween. Let me ask you real quick, since we are in the month of Halloween, Angela, what is the most creative costume that you've ever worn?
That's a good one. I'm going to go with a tube of toothpaste that I made out of a lampshade. I just did it all myself.
Mm-hmm.
Clothes hangers, cloth, decorated it. The cap was the lampshade.
Cool.
And
what kind of toothpaste? Colgate?
No,
Crest?
I believe it was Crest because that was the shortest one.
Okay, right on.
But I had all the details, like the ADA approved and all
awesome.
that stuff.
All right.
I think that was my most creative one. But I have some homemade, a lot of homemade costumes.
Cool. All right. Like I mentioned before.
What about you?
Me, like I told you
off
camera. Yeah, I'm not a big.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
get
really
you
dress
one
up
year.
for Halloween, but
one of these days.
I did mention that football started. I quickly want to mention too, because a lot of our fans do enjoy football, but great time of year. Same old story for our New York teams. I don't know if you've heard or paid attention at all, but for us Giants fans, it's going to be another tough year. For Jets fans, their season started out very strong, and 4 snaps into the game quickly ended, and their season is pretty much looks like it's over. You know anything about any of that?
I don't really follow football.
All right,
I know what teams you're talking about. I'm not that out of it, but
right on. You gotta love football. But I also quickly, before we get our guests on, I do want to mention, just because It's All Relative has done a previous show on it. I know it's been a long time, pretty much almost about a year, but we did do a show that covered the whole Little Mermaid controversy with the movie and whatnot. And I just wanted to quickly mention that I finally was able to watch that film, and I thought it was done very well. Despite all the negativity, I thought I was impressed. And I think out of the Disney movies or remakes that I've seen so far, I think it was one of the best ones. But that was just my opinion. And I quickly wanted to ask if you had seen it yet.
I have not seen it, but now
Okay.
that you have, I'm hoping you're gonna let me use the DVD. Is it on DVD or did you watch it on Disney Plus?
Disney Plus.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, I said DVD.
And you said DVD. Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, I'm old school.
Damn.
I got a
Okay.
VHS as well in my house, so
So do I.
don't knock it.
All right. But you ready to get our guests on?
I sure am.
All right. Making their It's All Relative debut, filmmaker and owner of Crowned Fox Productions and the owner of False Finish Productions, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Diamonique Gurny and Tony Colangelo.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you for
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you guys both for giving us some of your time and
Absolutely.
agreeing to come on. It's All Relative. You know, we're excited and we greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for doing it so late.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Problem.
Much appreciated.
We work around your schedule.
Thank you.
That's right. Now, real quick,
Yeah.
Diamonique,
Yeah.
you were highly recommended to us by our friends from the Virginal Cinephiles podcast, Danny Rosa and Frankie Sherry.
Yep.
All right. So us here, you know, once again, at It's All Relative, we are super excited to be able to get you on. I do want to clarify, in case there was any confusion for any of the listeners, but Diamonique, you are the owner of Crown Fox Productions.
Yes.
And Tony,
Yeah.
you are the owner of False Finish Productions.
Correct, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
and you both are very much involved in with each other's work and projects.
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. So let me then quickly just ask you both. How long have you guys been involved in the industry?
I'd say it all depends because if you're going to talk about False Finish, and when it comes to pro wrestling, I've been producing pro wrestling since about 2016, and a little bit before that with actually because I was trained to be a pro wrestler. I've been involved in the business since 2002, 2004, and ever since I did till this day. But so you're gonna say from the wrestling aspect in terms of like filmmaking and things of that nature. Filmmaking came around 2018 because I had gotten injured and I couldn't wrestle no more. So then I kind of pivoted to the production side of things. And then I got like a taste for filmmaking because I was helping guys with promos. And I was trying to explain to them that it was like you're creating like a character. It's just not like you. It's an extension of you. So it's like an actor
Right.
trying to like,
Right.
like everybody knows that wrestling's prefabricated. So it's like just kind of create something. And then from that, I was just like, yo, I kind of like this, man. Like, so I just went to film school and then kind of like it became easy to me. I was just like, wow, this is pretty awesome. Like I didn't realize how like, but then I didn't realize till afterwards. It's like I was so into it that's why it was easy. Like I wanted to learn. I was just like a sponge. So everything that the teachers were teaching me, I was like, thank you, just keep feeding me.
You found your passion.
Yeah, like my passion originally was pro wrestling, and then when I got hurt, my whole life changed. And it was like I had to find something new, and it was the guy who was like a second father to me. It was like my trainer, Mike Morgan. I'll shout him out, Ace Pro Wrestling. And he was just like, dude, you got to pivot. Like you can't be in the ring, you can't be a performer, but doesn't mean you can't be involved with us. So when I started to watch his company, the one thing I saw that was lacking was production. Like nobody was taking care of the commentators. No one was putting the cameras where they needed to be. No one was lighting it correctly. No one was going to the guys and being like, I know you said this in the promo, but maybe you should say it this way. Like nobody was doing that stuff. So I said to Mike, I was like, do you mind if I kind of take over that? And he was like, please. So like, I was like, all right. And then I bought some cameras. And then like from there, it just spurned out to where now we do live production for multiple streaming places like Fight TV, Title Match Network, and Premier Streaming. Premier Streaming, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm pretty impressed, bro. That is super cool. I mean, this is our first time meeting.
Yeah.
I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Right
I've
on.
loved wrestling since I was a young kid. I've actually, It's All Relative has done quite a few wrestling shows.
Nice.
I actually have been to. I enjoy going to many of the local wrestling shows anytime
Okay.
they're there,
Okay.
and I'm assuming you
We've produced,
film these.
yeah, most. I'll just shout a couple out. Like Ace Pro Wrestling was the first one, but I that was my home. That's where I trained. That's where I came up as a wrestler. So naturally, of course, that was going to be my first place. And then we do House of Glory in Queens. We've done Northeast Wrestling with Michael Lombardi.
I've seen a lot of those shows.
So I've done a couple of his shows, like at the Civic Center a few times. We've done those, and then we've gone to Delaware, and currently I'm producing 1CW on DSN. So it's on Delmarva Sports Network in Delaware and I think Maryland and Virginia. So right now I'm producing that show, and now we produce House of Glory once a month on Premier Streaming Network.
That's so awesome, bro. That's super cool.
I mean, pro wrestling has given me a lot. It's taken, but it's given me. You know, I've made dear friends from it. I've literally have made a life off of it now, because now I'm actually, I always make a joke. I don't want to, I know they invited you. I'm talking too much.
You're good.
I used to make a joke where it's like, when I was a wrestler, I didn't make a fucking dime. Now I'm a producer, I'm making more money than some of the guys. So it's like, it's nice to finally, flip and actually make money from the business. Finally.
Yeah, good for you, bro. That like I said, that is awesome. It's super cool too that like you actually were trying to pursue that route of becoming a pro wrestler. That's, I will say, like I said, I'm such a huge wrestling fan. You are the first person then that I've ever met that actually tried to pursue career.
I got fairly into it. Like I trained with Bill Carr, who's Dutch. He's with the Righteous on AEW right now on the ROH. So I trained with him.
That is wild.
Yeah, and we were trained by Tony DeVito of the Baldies from ECW. So he's one trained us. I'm still friends with that bastard. But Bill, like now I see him getting on TV and stuff. It's like I have he's like a father. It's like I'm proud of him. I know he doesn't care.
But that's awesome.
I always text him like, dude, I fucking love to see I love what I'm seeing on TV. I have like even like the producers on AEW currently, like I'm gonna shout him out because I know he's great. But Zane Decker, he does a lot of the promo work on AEW. And I've worked with him on Catalyst Wrestling that I currently do now. Like so, I came in with him on that program, and then he moved to Outstanding Heights. He went to ROH, now he's on AEW. And then like now we do Catalyst Wrestling. He kind of handed us the reins.
That's so wild, bro.
Yeah, I'd be seen on the Guest Digital Network. I don't want to get yelled. They'll yell at me.
Right on. That's so cool. Yeah. But let me ask you then real quick, Diamonique. What or how long have you been involved in the industry?
I'd say I think maybe 5 years. I think it was my 5th year.
Yeah.
Because like I count, like I like to think that I started filmmaking at age 13 when I got my first laptop and I like learned editing. So I would make like little music videos and stuff like that. So that was like my introduction. But like taking it seriously, I would say in college, halfway through college. So I was, I think, 2017, something like that, 2016, 2017. And then I started my YouTube channel like during that time. So from then onward, I'd say is when I started like getting serious, like actually pursuing it. So I think it's 5 years of like making my own films and
you made 26
live
already.
action. Yeah.
26 is a good number. When was your first one? Like
if you want
first production.
If you want to count the first one on my channel, that was because of a final project in my German literature class. We had to redo or like make our own spin-off one of the books we read. So I like combined 2 books and that was the final. So that was my first film on that channel. But I did do my first live action in high school because I took a film class in high school. Yes. So that I would say it was like a little horror movie. It was like 30 seconds long. Like that's my official first one. But like I like to count the one I did in college because I had a logo. That was when I was under Crowned Fox. Like that was my official first one. So that was because of school. And a lot of the ones during that time period are like for projects during the class. And then once I graduated, I just did it on my own. I would submit to festivals, contests, stuff like that. and now I'm like helping you with the wrestling.
Yeah, we brought her on now.
doing
She's one of
things, yeah.
the camera operators.
And House of Glory.
Yeah, she helped
Yeah.
me edit some stuff too. She's
Yeah.
very good
Yeah.
at what she does.
Lucky. That's so awesome.
It's so cool. Yeah, I did not expect to. Like,
her
do that at all.
introduction into the wrestling business was pretty good. Like I was just like, hey man, I need a camera operator. You want to just operate the hard camera? It's easy. It stays on a tripod. Just follow the action.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay. And we went down. It was House of Glory
Yep.
in Queens.
That was like my first.
That was the
official.
first one, yeah. And it was one of the better ones because, I mean, obviously it's been out now for a while. So Alpha Junior, not Alpha Junior, I'm sorry. Jacob Fatu was the champion, and he fought Matt Cardona for the title. And it was like, I didn't know what was going on. I was just, they said, can you guys come down here and film this? I was like, yeah, sure. And we set everything up. And then I realized that it was Premier Streaming Network was taking over. Because they were on Fight TV at first, and then they was switching over to Premiere. So it was like a big deal, and it was like so many people there for Premiere Streaming Network and everything else like that. And then, you know, Matt Cardona won the belt, and that place was sold out, so it was going bananas. And then the guy who was in charge of production, who hired us, came up to me. He's like, "Who's operating the hard camera?" And I said, "That's my girlfriend up there, Diamonique." He goes, "All right, well, you bring her back because she did a great job." And I was like, "All right." I was like, "Got it, man." So I told her, she came down and I was like, "Looks like you got a job, pal."
Right on.
So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So that's why it's been almost a year
yeah.
since I've been doing short. Like my last short film was November, because
last
I've
November, yeah, you did
because I've just
Hitchhiker.
been working with you doing the live wrestling.
It's almost a year now.
Yeah.
She's got
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff written, and I keep trying to push her, chop
Yeah.
at the bit.
Well,
to
something
make
will
it.
come out on Halloween.
But yeah, she's working on
But-
something right now.
Preview. Spoiler.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
But like the short films, I haven't gotten to in a while because of that and
Yeah.
work and everything like that. But they're coming back. I promise.
Right on. Yeah,
Yeah.
we will cover some of those
Yeah.
films that you have previously done later on in the show. But I think it's really. I mean, I'm trying to think of the word right now, and for the life of me, I can't. But I think it's very exciting for you that you were able to find what you love, like you had mentioned, your passion or whatever,
Yeah.
at such a young age. Because
Yeah.
you said that, I mean, you started pretty young.
Yeah.
Then getting into this whole film thing, and actually stuck with it.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
pretty cool.
It's interesting because I'd say it changed, but it also all came together in a way. Because when I was really young, I wanted to be an artist, like paint and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And I was told by everyone, like, oh, you're not going to make money, blah, 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 blah.
You're still good at it, by the way. Okay.
What?
I said you're still good at it, by the way.
Yeah. Thank you. And then, like, I think high school, I wanted to be a writer. I just wanted to write books.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also wanted to do like fashion design at one point in high school. And then that's when I took a film class. And I was like, wait, I'm combining all of them. I'm writing the story, I'm like designing the costumes, and then I'm kind of creating art like in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So like even though like I didn't realize at the time that like my passion was like a combo of the other passions. So like film combined all my stuff, like tied it all together, I think. So it kind of changed, but it kind of just evolved into what it is, I'd say. But yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let me ask you both then, real quick. How would each of you define, I mean, to the best of your ability, what a film director's role is?
We just did this episode on our podcast.
Yeah, I just started my own podcast.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
Nice.
We had episode
Yeah,
two. It
episode
was
two, yeah,
about
but
directing.
I said to her, it's the best way I can describe it to a dude,
Mm-hmm.
to it.
or to like a layman, is
Yeah.
you're like a head coach.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're not the guy, you're not in charge of everything, but you're just in charge of the team.
Mm-hmm.
So which is the actors, and then the director of photography and the lighting people, because they're all going to come to you for the answers. So you just got to make sure you have them, and you just got to have a clear picture in your head of what you want. And as long as you have that, you'll always have the answers, and that's all they want.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was told in film school, and when I did my short films, that I learned that, because they always ask the questions. You just make sure you have the answers, and
Yeah.
you can steer the ship where it needs to be.
Yeah. I think I compared it either to like a stream where it's just guiding the water, which is the actors, the crew, But I also think I compared it to a painter, where they're
Yeah.
letting each color shine. They're combining the colors to like,
You don't want to tell them what to do.
yeah.
You just
No,
'cause
yeah,
you want them
definitely
to
not.
be creative.
Yeah.
Because once you start telling them what to do, now you're putting them in a box.
Yeah.
They can't like really embrace the character that they're trying to portray.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to just guide them. So if you want them to do a certain thing, you just got to like not tell them do it this way.
Right.
You got to just try and
Let
like word
them
it in a
figure
certain
it,
way
yeah.
and let them figure it out and let them paint the picture, and you're just kind of guiding the brushstrokes.
Yeah.
essentially.
It should be called like a guidance person instead of a
But you
director.
can't 'cause you won't get to you won't
I
take
know.
it seriously.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta be
But
director.
it's like, I mean, some directors direct heavy-handed, but like
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
say the best way is just to be a guide, and like you said,
Yeah.
like answer the questions.
Yeah, but also some people are crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I've read horror stories of some directors being real sticklers and doing
Yeah.
1,000 takes.
Right.
You know, like she has a great method where she like lets the camera run while you're not knowing.
But I don't tell them. Yeah.
So just she can kind of catch an organic moment without them really even realizing.
Yeah. Or like it's either before I say action, I'll just let it roll, give it a couple seconds, and then even when I say cut, I say cut to them, and then I like 2 seconds later I kind of cut it because
good
like
idea.
a lot of times I catch like really good expressions that I could clip and then put that somewhere else because they thought they were done.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the most natural. Like that, I use that for like new actors. Like if they don't control their face well or
It
whatever.
all depends on the kind of actors you
Yeah.
get too. Because some
You gotta
actors
change your,
they might think a little bit too highly of themselves.
Yeah.
Some,
Yeah.
some might be novices. They don't know nothing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
They're looking to you for the answers. They're like, please guide me.
Tell
I
me
have
what to
no
do.
idea what to
Yep.
do. Yeah. You know, others are just like, I got the script.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, and you just kind of like, all right, that guy's a dickhead.
Right.
But you know, just got to be.
You gotta change with the actor.
You
Sometimes.
got to be able to handle egos.
Yeah.
Like I used to run a wrestling company too. So like I know you handle egos.
Tough. Yeah.
Like that's all it is.
Yeah.
His guys don't want to admit that it's
That's a lot of
it's not real. Yeah. So you got like it's hard to like. So you got to just deal with egos. So
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to be like, all right, I guess this is what I'm dealing with today.
Yeah.
You know, it just comes at you like everything's like every day could be different. Like one day the film can be like the day could be great,
Yep.
and then the next day the actor could have a fucking stick up his ass and halts production and shit. So you just
Yeah.
kind of like, all right, don't worry, you just got to guide the team and keep morale up.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, that's really the job of a good director, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you gotta be. Nothing is gonna go to plan,
Right.
or at least it almost
Right.
never does. So you gotta be flexible. Like you said, keep morale up. You can't let your stress like spread to the other people.
Yeah, you got to keep it calm. I say like
Yeah.
a duck on water. I see the
Yeah.
Ducks jersey on the back.
Yeah.
By the way, it's awesome. By the way.
Yeah. Appreciate that, bro.
But it's like a duck on water. You stay calm, but under the water, your feet can be as long as they
Yep.
don't see you panicked.
Yep.
Then they're not going to get panicked
Because they're looking to
So
you
just-
for guidance.
Just stay cool.
And a lot of times they're nervous
It's good
or
advice.
scared. So you got to be the one to calm them down.
I
and-
use a lot of wrestling terms.
Yeah.
On sets. It drives
Yeah.
people crazy. But I, always
I
say,
love it.
I say.
Josh is in his glory.
Yeah,
I say,
right?
card subject to change. Like things happen. You just
That's
gotta,
right.
And then like
Adapt
some,
and
like,
adjust. That's what
Yeah,
I always
Exactly.
say.
I like
Like
that.
they'll
Yeah.
come up to me like, well, because I like a lot of action in my movies. You know, so
I'm the complete opposite.
yeah, she's all dialogue, and I'm
Yeah.
all, you know, like I said, I'm more of the old school, like Arnold.
Yeah.
You know, I want fighting. You know, I want action. So like, I'm always telling guys, call it in the ring.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Just call it in the ring.
Yeah.
Go over your stuff right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you both possess very good the qualities that a good film director possess. I mean, I did want to ask you, but I mean, you guys kind of did touch on it. But I was going to ask if there are a few characteristics that the two of you possess, or that may, you know, shine a little brighter, or whatnot, when you're directing a project.
I'd say that I actually love the stress. I do and I don't.
She doesn't freak out.
I love
Yeah.
it. It's like a rush when something goes wrong. Because
She
then I
like wants
kind
to
of.
handle it. She likes
Yeah.
the troubleshooting.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
when like it's like, oh, an actor canceled this morning. Okay, let me quickly find who I can
Yeah.
replace it, or can I write the character out?
Wow.
So it's like
I'm-
testing my skills.
I'm
You're
the
the
exact
complete
opposite.
opposite. He
If the
freaks
guy
out.
calls, the sky is falling.
I'm with you, bro.
I guess this project is done.
Yeah.
It's like, that's how I get, because it's just like I work my ass off
Yeah.
to do all this stuff, and now
The
you're
lead
gonna,
up, yeah.
now you're not gonna show us something's gonna happen. It's gonna fuck everything up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, nah, man. No, never mind. We won't do it. Like,
Yeah.
we'll just wait. I'm not
No,
like,
I'm the opposite
yeah.
completely.
So it's nice though because we cancel each other out.
Yeah.
So like if I freak out, she'll be like, calm down, relax. And then if she's like too
Yeah.
calm, I'm like, you need to show some urgency. Like you need to kind of get up here with me, please.
Can you panic, please?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah,
Just a little
That's
bit.
funny.
But yeah.
That it's different, but that's
Right.
that's pretty cool. Like someone that thrives under the pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've never seen it. So when I see, I'm like, what the? Why are you calm?
Yeah.
Right?
These people
Well,
just
I think
cancel on you.
Some people are like that though. Like it's certain, like if I was dealing with somebody in a non-emergency situation, like medically
Yeah.
sick to my stomach,
Yep, yep.
get away. But if it's an emergency, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's do
That
this.
is yeah, I'm exactly the same way. Yeah.
No
So,
panic.
yeah.
Just
You just gotta get it done. Yeah, because that's what's it just takes the anxiety away, and it's like, oh, this needs to happen. How can I make it happen?
It takes the overthinking away.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think.
And
Yeah.
like I said, I've learned, as crazy as it sounds like, because I'm into filmmaking now. I've made a couple movies and stuff like that. I'm working on projects now, but like wrestling had taught me so much. So when I got to filmmaking, directing and everything was easy because, like I said, I was running my own show. I was running out of Jersey for a couple of years, and I was dealing with egos, and we weren't even like a big thing. Like, and these guys were coming in with egos. I'm like, you kidding me? This is like minor league. I was
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? You know, but like still, like I learned how to like, all right, this guy doesn't like to lose. So how are we gonna make this work? So he comes in and he's not gonna annoy the fuck out of me. You know, like so don't
Right.
worry, it's a schmaz. Like it's just gonna, you know, so it's that kind of stuff. So it's like when I see a director or an actor with like a stick up their ass, it's just kind of like, hey man, go take a break. Just go stand off to the side, breathe. I'll block with somebody else. I'll figure this actor out real quick. You know, and the best bet for me is you just kind of get to know the actors. Like I've read directors do, like they hang out, they drink with the guy, and get to know them. So this way, when you're on set, it's kind of like you're hanging out with a friend.
Yeah.
Right.
So that when I kind of give you advice, you're not immediately apprehensive about it. You're not going to give me shit. You're just going to kind of be like, all right, what's on your mind? Like, how should I try this?
Yeah.
You know,
I agree with that because
Yeah.
I don't like hang out with them first. I would like I would get a video audition for that's usually how I do it. Like if it's someone completely new, I usually get a lot of my actors from like friend recommendations. Like my mom knew Dan, and then Dan told Frankie, and then that's how I met Frankie. So it's like if it's not like that, then I have to vibe them through like a video audition, or I correspond with them a lot beforehand, so I kind of can get that comfortability.
Right.
And then I'd make the set like really nice. Like I make sure everyone's taken care of first, and then I don't rush into filming. Usually, I'm let them relax, de-stress first, and then be like, okay, this is the plan, and then so it's kind of like trying to do that, drink with them before.
I always give them time.
Yeah.
To just kind of get to know the other actors.
Yeah.
Because you want them to be
Yeah.
calm when they get on set. You don't want them to be high strung and
Yeah.
nervous, because then you're not going to get a good performance. It's not
Yeah.
going to be good.
Yeah.
And if they feel comfortable with you, they'll build that trust.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. And then, like you had said, when you kind of want to guide them or mention, maybe you should try it this way.
Yeah.
They trust you.
They're
You
a
know
little
what
bit
I'm
more
saying?
open to it.
Right.
Now
Yeah.
they're like, all right, well, he's trying to relate to me on the level. He's
Right.
not
Yeah.
being a Joe director. Like,
Yeah.
I know this
He's
and
not
you
bossing
don't.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a little more, and then like again, you just want them to kind of come to you.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
what do you think I should do here? You know, or what's the motivation here? I ever heard that, or like, what's my character's motivation here? And the
Yeah.
director's
I love
gotta
it
go,
when they ask that.
He's
Yeah.
like, all right, well, you kind of just got it. But it's like I said, I hate to keep bringing up pro wrestling. It's just like that because wrestlers come up to me and they go, well, why would I want to do this to him?
Yeah.
I was like, well, why are you fighting him in the first place? Like, you got to find the motivation for the whole fight in the first place.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, is it for a belt? No. Do you got a problem with him? Is it a personal issue? What's going on? Like we got to get to the bottom of that.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it work.
And then from that point on, you can give them pointers and advice and coach them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask both of you then real quick. I guess on set, maybe,
Yeah.
how do you or would you handle creative differences?
Well, that has happened a lot, and a lot of times since I'm asking people to come, like, usually they're not being paid, but I'm like giving them real footage, or like they're hanging out, or they're doing it as a favor. Like I kind of yield to their idea.
Okay.
Like let's say, well, and also it's usually the ones who already have experience that kind of want to do it a certain way because they're like, I act like this best or whatever,
Right.
or they already know the character in their mind, so they kind of studied it more than I have, even though I wrote it. Like I kind of let that happen. I'm only a stickler for like very few things most of the time. Like that's how the moral of the story I want is usually what I'm a stickler for. But like how it's done, I'm like open to. Because remember we did Hitchhiker,
Yeah.
and I wanted the character to be nervous. I think it was.
Yeah.
I wanted her to be okay. So the idea was that a girl or a serial killer gets into the car with a girl, but it's actually she's the killer. So I wanted her to be right. So I wanted her to be nervous. So because I wanted the twist to hit harder. It's like, oh, she's nervous. She's not gonna be a killer. But then she's like, I don't get why I'm nervous. And I was like, no, like I wrote it so that you're nervous. And she's like, can I do it differently?
Yeah.
And then she was extremely serious and like stern to when the killer walked in. And I was like, this is so much better.
Yeah.
But then again, she's like a really jewel. She's a really good actress I work with a lot, like has studied acting. So it's like I trusted her.
Yeah, you can put your trust
Exactly,
in
yeah.
them,
I trusted her to be like, okay, she knows what she's talking about.
That's what it comes down to.
Trust.
Like if when you have creative differences with somebody, if you trust that their suggestion
Yeah.
will work, then you'll be more open to it. If it's a novice and they're trying to be creative, and you could kind of see that they're novice. It's that they don't have enough experience. Not that they're not good. They might just not have enough experience at it. So you got to turn around and just be like, I know you want to do it your way. So what I usually do is I go, all right, give me 3 takes my way.
Yeah.
Then on the 4th take, we'll film whatever the fuck you want. We'll sit here for an hour and film you rant to the camera. I don't care. We'll do whatever you want.
Smart.
Yeah.
But just let me get my takes first.
I
This
kind
way-
of do that.
Yeah, but this way, if your take doesn't work,
Yeah.
I can
You
still get
got
mine.
what you
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
That's all I ask. So I'll do what you want, and I'll listen to your input and your advice and your suggestions.
Yeah.
But just know that when the film comes out, if you see my scene there, it's because I thought it worked better. It wasn't because you're not good at it. It's because I thought mine worked better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, as the director, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a fair request.
But sometimes I let them have their way first, so that is a way to build trust, or in you know what I mean, like
The only
and let
reason
them
I
calm
wouldn't do
down.
that way is because
It depends on the
and
person.
this has happened.
Yeah,
Is you let them do it their way,
yeah.
and then as soon as they're done, you go, "All right, can you do it my way?" They
Oh, then they
immediately
get-
then turn and go, "Why my way wasn't good enough?"
Oh yeah,
And you're like, "No, jerk. Like I need. Like I said, that's why I always go. Let me get my way first. Let me just get it out the way because it's
Right.
written that way,
Yeah.
and then we'll do your way."
I've had the opposite effect, thankfully.
Thankfully,
Knock on wood.
Yeah, thankfully.
That like I do that so that they can calm down. I usually do it to only people who are nervous and they
Yeah.
want to, and they suggest it.
Yeah.
But like, once I get that out of the way, I kind of feel like they're like, okay,
Yeah.
then let me. I don't know. That's how it's worked so far, but that doesn't happen
Thank
often.
God, thankfully, most times I haven't never had that problem.
Yeah.
Most times they trust the process, they trust you, and I haven't had to fight anybody. And
Yeah.
creatively.
Yeah.
Right on. Let me ask you both. When it comes to filming, creating your films, do you guys write your own scripts, or do you have people approach you with ideas, et
Well,
cetera, et cetera?
I've written like all except maybe like 2.
Okay.
No, maybe 1
Okay.
of my like 26 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now you help me write them.
Yeah.
Because I never had anyone else to help me, so that's why everything's filmed by me, written by me, edited by me.
Mhm.
Like now I have help. Now, I mean, through the years, like I've gotten more people to either film or like or edit the script, but before it was like all me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't really like that because I find it hard, or
Right.
especially the writing. I went to school for writing, and yet it's still very difficult to me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I love writing.
yeah, I'm
So
not
it's one of
like
my
that.
favorite things too. I'll create, I mean,
Yeah.
like storylines immediately.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be just sitting there and I'll be like, well, imagine. I always say that to her.
Yeah,
and I'll
imagine.
like come up with a storyline in my head real quick. She'll be like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
You know,
It's
and
probably from wrestling, though,
It's
right?
from wrestling.
absolutely.
I'm always creating
Yeah.
characters and stuff. So I love creating characters. I love creating worlds.
Yeah.
So to me, writing is so much fun. I love it.
What
you know?
it's then we balance each other out more because like I would rather just.
But that's how it
direct.
happened. That's why we started
Yeah.
working together because you're
That's
like,
true.
I can't. And I got a few times, and I mean this with all due respect. Like I would watch her stuff, and I'd be like, this is a good movie, but
Premise-wise, yeah.
there's a chunk missing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You know, you need something written right here. Like
Yeah.
you have a premise, it's good,
Yeah.
good, but you haven't finished it.
But I couldn't see that myself until like
Yeah.
people pointed out because like they either criticize the whole thing and be like, "Oh, it's terrible." I was like, "Yeah, I'm a beginner,"
Yeah.
or like you would actually help
Yeah.
and like critique it properly. So I was like, "Okay, I'm open to help."
Construction.
Exactly,
Yes.
constructive criticism. Yeah,
For me, I wrote most. The only time
Yeah.
I don't write is when it comes to wrestling. I still direct promos for guys.
Mm-hmm.
So when guys come to me with an idea, I let them flesh it out. And then I just add a little bit of suggestion. Why don't we shoot it here? Why don't we kind of add this angle at it? That's the only time I don't write anything. But for the most part, I'm always writing my own stuff. You know, and for the most part, when it comes to dialogue, I kind of leave it blank because I like the actors to ad-lib. Because I don't want to put words in your mouth. You know, so like I always tell guys and girls, like, if you feel like you're going to say, what do you think the character would say?
yeah,
Like sometimes it'll just say ad-lib in the script and they go, what
Right.
does this mean? What do you want me to say? Well, you read down to that point, didn't you? Yeah. How is the character going to react?
Yeah,
What is
like,
that
what's
answer?
next?
What's that
Yeah.
response going to be? So I wanted to leave to you. And then right then they see that you trust them.
I'm the opposite because I love dialogue. I love writing dialogue,
Yeah, see, I don't
and
care.
like the action I don't write, but you love that.
I don't care because again, it comes to wrestling. Whereas I
Yeah.
didn't like when guys put words in my mouth. When I cut promos, I used to just like to just
Say
go
what
off
you
the
wanted,
cup.
yeah.
I'd grab a mic. I'd be like, all right, give me this thing, and I'll just say what I want.
No,
That's I appreciate it. Yeah.
no.
Right on. I mean, we're gonna take a quick break soon.
Yeah.
But I just want to give you a quick little side question,
Yeah.
real quick, bro. I want to ask you, in your opinion, right now, who's one of the best wrestlers promo wise? In your opinion, I'm just
Right
curious.
now?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns.
You think Roman?
for sure. I love Roman. Cody Rhodes is a good promo.
Mhm.
Like he made me tear up a couple times,
Mhm.
but he cries too much, a little too much. I like.
MJF.
Yes, I do, and I don't.
Okay.
I do because, I mean, he's so fucking funny.
Hey, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
no, he's very
great.
funny. But like some of the things he says, sometimes it's like, but you didn't have to go that far.
Right, right,
there.
yeah.
But
You know,
like,
you're right.
For the most part, he's spot on. I mean, to me, I'm not a big AEW guy,
Really?
but it's funny because I'm trying to get a job there. But I like it. And I don't like it. I don't like the fast pace of what wrestling's become. My big issue with pro wrestling is the storytelling has died, and that's no one can change my mind otherwise because it's 100 miles an hour now.
Yeah, hot spot.
Yes.
Hot
Yeah.
spot.
So
know.
I
Yep.
get what it is now. It's more about the athleticism,
Yeah.
but to me, you'll never like. I mean, come on, Brett versus Austin, Austin versus Vince. You know, like those stories that literally.
I'm
like,
with you, bro.
Yeah, like I could sit here and talk to you about wrestling for hours. Like,
Oh my god, yeah.
The storylines that would take a year, you know,
Yeah.
and like are amazing. Not the ones that were rushed like, you know, a week and
well, that's
then
why I'm a
next
big
week.
fan of Roman in the Bloodline because that storyline was long term.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Over the past year, one of the most amazing storylines in all of wrestling, especially when WWE may have hit certain low points
Man.
during that time. That storyline it was
Always kept it compelling.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
was great. Absolutely great. But you got anything else, real quick?
Oh, I'll wait till I get back.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll continue to hear from both Diamonique and Tony as we discuss technology with filmmaking, locations, camera angles, and short film called Blood Pawn. So make sure you come back with us right here on the It's All Relative podcast.
I'm in the game now, shit's the same now. Explode next mode, I'm the same how. Don't say you know me, just say you did. When you see me sliding off to another crib, boom, in the game now, I'm the same how. The rap game will never be the same now. Don't say you know me, just say you did. And when you hear why yo, say that's that shit.
Welcome back to It's All Relative. Still with us in studio, Diamonique Gurny and Tony Colangelo.
So I'm curious, how did the names of each of your companies come about? Crowned, Fox Royal, and False Finish.
You first, guy.
Well, it was it was something like profound, because my aesthetic I wanted it to be like not royal, but like elegant or high class kind of. I wanted the feel of my films because I wanted to be different. I feel like a lot of people were just like modern, and people were wearing like t-shirts and jeans in their films, or like it was about ordinary people, and I wanted like a more like, I don't know, elevated fantasy, like period type feel. So that was the crowned aspect of it. And the fox is just because like I'm wearing a fox hat.
I was gonna mention that too.
Yeah. That like I just was obsessed with foxes. Like everything I saw, like I always saw foxes, like not real ones, but like stuffed animals when I would go somewhere, or like my favorite characters in like anime would be fox related, or like I was just very obsessed with the animal at the time. Like what was that, 2017? Like when I was in college. And then I just put productions because I didn't want like films. I didn't want studios because I didn't have a studio. And like production because, like I feel like at least I was, not anymore. Like I was a one-woman production team.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to do everything. So I just kind of combined that, like the aesthetic. I made it gold and like fancy, to like remind myself to keep my like look and feel of my films like how I would want them to be, and not like blend in with people, like not become like other people or a copy. So that's kind of why I made Crowned Fox Productions like that.
That's cool.
Mine, we went through a couple of name changes. We had my nickname was Tone Bone. When I was a wrestler, was my work name was Tone Bone. So we started with Boneyard Productions because one day my friend, we hanging out at my house, he's like, "This is like the Boneyard," and I was like, "Oh, I like that name."
The Boneyard.
Yeah. And then literally the next day found out somebody already had it. And so, all right, that goes that.
Yeah.
Then we did Dumbbell Productions because it was somebody else's nickname. It was the other guy in the company's nickname. We called him Dumbbell. So let's do Dumbbell Productions. And we found out that was an exercise company.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So we were back to the drawing board, and then I was just sitting there thinking, like, well, all we do is wrestling stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't I use a wrestling term? And then we just started running through them. Like, no sell, this, that. And I was like, then I just landed on False Finish. And then False Finish is like they kick out at 2.
Yeah.
And one of my friends said, it's not a bad thing because, like, we're kicking out. Like we're not going to stay laying down. So I was just like, oh, okay. I said it a few times, False Finish Productions, and I was like, man, it rolls off the tongue pretty well.
It does.
Yeah.
So I like that, and then they were like, well, yeah, I like it too. So then we just stuck with it. The only thing I noticed about, and I love the name, but it pigeonholes you because I couldn't like film weddings.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't film like as a videography company, you kind of like
Could have filmed my wedding.
yeah. I mean,
Oh
listen,
no.
yeah, like. So we're just like,
Sorry.
it was one of those things where I was just like, all right, well, but I love the name. False Finish Productions is one of my favorite. Was when we were running through the list of names, that was the one that stood out to me the most, and I was like, that's
catchy.
That's the name.
Yeah.
I love when that happens, when artists or creators like are trying to come up with a name or a logo, and you're starting a brand, and once it clicks, like I don't know, for me, like I love that feeling because I've been through it too with what we do and whatnot.
Yeah.
But let me ask you both.
Yeah.
Film directors often base everything, off of an original blueprint. Now every blueprint is different, but most of these blueprints are films, right?
Yeah.
So can I ask both of you, do each of you have a favorite film or a film that you have used as your blueprint when it comes to creating some of your pieces of artwork?
Oh yeah, mostly action movies for me.
Yeah.
my favorite all-time movie is Conan the Barbarian with
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I was always into the swords and sorcery stuff. It was the first thing I bonded over. My dad, me and my dad bonded over swords and sorcery films. So I was all in on that stuff. So that to me, I always just like, I always have a habit of going big and then having to reel it in. You know, so like, the people go, all right, great idea in theory. Reel it back a bit. You don't have the money for that. You know, so those are my blueprints. I usually go for like epic fantasies. Like I write a lot of sci-fi, fantasy, superhero stuff. I'm a giant nerd at the end of the day. So like, you know, I read comic books. I still watch cartoons. You know, like I was watching cartoons before we left.
Yeah.
Right
So
on.
like, you know, so I'm always like, those are my things. So if I always lean on the inspirations, always do, and it's always that. It's like G.I. Joe, Conan, He-Man, Marvel. You know, all the Marvel stuff. I know hers is much different from me because she hates all superhero stuff.
Yeah, I
So
guess.
her blueprint is much different than mine. But I usually go to that.
Okay.
Like the action with the comedy a little bit. You know, because I like that stuff. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think it's great.
Right on.
Mine is like, I pick and choose from my favorites. So like, well, my favorite film of all time is Fifth Element. And I kind of, like, not want to recreate it, but like that's my goal one day as like a filmmaker to like make something like that epic where like the costumes are all like handmade to each character. Like every character is like in depth, or it's like it's vibrant, it's positive. That's, I'd say, is my number one like inspiration, is just like really positive ending movies, because that's what always annoyed me of like other people's films. They're always like horror, they're always like just negative and pessimistic. So like I wanted to do the complete opposite. So I wanted to inspire people with my films. Like, so like I would say Fifth Element is like a positive sci-fi, because like a lot of sci-fis are not. They're like dystopian, or like, oh, everything's ruined or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I think like, at least because it has a happy ending. I guess that's the easier way to say it. Happy ending movies.
Yeah, she likes
Like,
fairy tale ending type.
yeah,
stuff.
like I
Right
want
on.
to inspire people. I don't want to
Yeah.
like bring them down. Like life already sucks. Like I want to just,
Raise a little hope.
yeah, like get aspects of films that are like, that take you out of the world. That was another reason why it's like royal or like fantasy. Like I don't want to be about every day, because like we're living in the everyday every day. So it's like, why don't we watch something about a prince, or like some people argue, it's like, oh, I can't relate to that. And I was like, you kind of can. Like if
Yeah.
you put yourself in their shoes rather than like the opposite or
Yeah.
something like that. So I don't know.
That's usually what I tend to like I said, when I write things, I kind of use a base.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of like Iron Man. This is kind of like Conan. You know, like I made a short film called Rancor, and it's literally, I just took all my favorite things
Yeah.
and just smashed them together. You know, I took Conan, I took my favorite video game, which was Darksiders, and I took He-Man, and I just smashed them all together and made my own guy, Rancor.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was just like, that was the blueprint for that. And then I had a superhero film that I wrote, and the blueprint for that was all the Marvel movies. It was all the DC comic book movies and shit that I've seen over the years. So it's like, you just kind of take, like, it's like she took the Fifth Element,
Yeah.
and that's not going to be the base for her. It's like a positive ending
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But like, everybody has their own process. Like,
Right.
Everybody
Yeah.
has their own blueprint. Like, I know a lot of people who were really big into horror movies,
Yeah.
and in their movies, the bad guy always wins. Or
Yeah.
something like, you know, it's like she's
Yep.
like, it's always the opposite. So
Yeah.
everybody's got their own blueprint, but it's all about your inspirations.
Yeah.
Like, what's your favorite movie? As a filmmaker, you have to have a favorite genre. You have to have a favorite.
You have to have like the movie that made you get into that line of work. Like,
Yeah, for me, it was Avengers. Like, when I saw that, and I realized, oh, you can have a superhero movie be lighthearted while still having action, while still having drama.
Yeah.
You can have all that stuff. You don't have to be pigeonholed, and it has to be this way. That's when I kind of started being like, all right, maybe I can make a superhero movie. You know, maybe I can. Like, you can write it. You know,
Right.
like, and I like, it's done wonders. I mean, I love the sort of stuff that I've written because of it. So
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
a lot of because my degree is in creative writing, because I learned I wanted to be a filmmaker halfway through college, so I couldn't change it to film. So I just went with the creative writing degree. A lot of my main inspiration is like from authors or from books more than films, because like people always get surprised I don't know a lot of movies. Like I don't watch a lot of movies. Like I'm not a film buff.
Right.
I'm like I have a moral usually is how it starts, and I want to tell people that moral. So then I write the film around that of like what I'm trying to say. But a lot of things are based off like authors or books. Like Lovecraft is really my main like source of inspiration. So like my popular films are based off Lovecraft themes, stories, characters, and what was the other one? Poe. I try to do Poe.
Yeah.
I haven't done as much.
You tend to be very dark.
Yeah, but like, which is funny because I just said that.
It has a happy. It's like very, very.
I get like
it's very
two.
dark, but then at the end, it has a happy ending.
Yeah, cause I have done almost every genre of film.
Yeah,
because I'm trying to find my niche, I guess.
Yeah.
I think sci-fi is it for now. Yeah.
When it comes to like I said, I love writing the action stuff. So for me, whenever I write movies, I don't like to tell like a moral. Like do that on your own time. And that's how you want to have a moral. Go to church. You know, like I'm writing a movie so you can check out.
Yeah.
Like so when you watch this nonstop action, you watch something like with a lot of funny dialogue. I like to put a lot of lighthearted shit. I watch a lot of comedy. I watch a lot of comedians. So I tend to be like, you gotta be funny. You can't take yourself too seriously. Like I was telling her, like when I was making Rancor, like it's gonna be funny because in the end of the day, it's guys in foam armor, giant foam armor suits. Like it's like be funny. You know, like you don't have to. This isn't like serious, but when it came to be serious, I had the lines written for that. You know, like you just gotta be able to blend it perfectly, and that's one of the things I love about writing. It's one of the challenges, be able to blend all of those genres together.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, when it comes to filming your guys' movies and films, are there any particular shots or camera angles that you prefer for certain scenes, or is there a?
All depends on the where the scene is going in the genre. Yeah, it all depends. Like if you're gonna go dramatic, I tend to always love the Dutch angle, which
I was just gonna say that.
The crooked angle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that angle.
I like low angles, like looking up at characters.
Low, high angles, so you get down low and you get up high on it, like the guy standing over you.
Yeah.
It's very good power position.
Yeah.
I like those kinds. I like angles that are gonna bring out the dramatics. Like it's gonna make it look dramatic, or it's gonna make it look epic.
Right.
You know, so
angles that tell a lot before things happen.
Yeah.
Like.
Also comes with a good act. Good act has to have good
true.
facials.
Yeah.
They got to be able to tell a story with their face.
You have to sell the
So if you
angles
go like an
sometimes.
extreme close-up, which would be like a Dutch angle a lot of times, it's like it's on an angle, but it's an extreme close-up of that person reacting to something, whether they're seeing something or they're like witnessing
or it's
something.
Ominous,
or it's ominous. They're looking for something.
Yeah.
So they have to tell the story with their face.
Yeah.
You know, so you're going to get close-up on them and stuff like that. Like I don't really like to do extreme close-ups.
I do. I've been told I do too many.
Yeah, she does. I tend to kind of let, like, because when you're working with novice actors, this is not a knock on them.
Right.
Yeah. When you're working with them, they don't tell stories with their face. They don't know how.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like, don't shoot them so close, because then they just look like dead people.
Yeah.
Because they're just dead in the eyes, because they don't know how to sell anything.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so you got to shoot it wide. But
Yeah.
my favorite angle will always be the Dutch angle. So I
me
just,
too.
because that
That's what I
always
was gonna say.
conveys dramatic.
Yeah.
It's always great.
Yeah.
That was made by Alfred Hitchcock. He made it famous.
Yeah.
So in all his movies, it's always like in Psycho, when the woman gets attacked, it's that Dutch angle. It's that angled shot. It's like I said, it just creates an uneasy feeling immediately when it's like when the angle is off. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That puts you off.
Exactly.
Yeah. It sets the tone already, and there's no dialogue.
Yeah.
It's just the angle.
Yeah.
It does. I feel like the angles and some of the camera shots on films are the most important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, sets the mood.
Yep.
Let's quickly talk some locations.
Okay.
Have you guys filmed projects at any challenging locations? And if so, where?
Well, the first time Frankie came on my set of Blood Pond, I did not think it was going to be that cold, but it was 7 degrees. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
And the sun was setting real fast. Dan was there too, I believe. I don't remember, but I think so. Yeah, because we had to scrap that shot because the sun was setting too quick, and by the time he got there, it was too dark to see his face. So I was like, we had to redo that. But like, it was freezing. Thankfully it wasn't snowing, but I have filmed in the snow, which
Probably would have been warmer if it was snowing.
No, my because I didn't have gloves because I was doing the camera. Like they hurt. I've never felt so much pain from filming in the snow.
2 locations.
You were in the snow too.
Yeah, when we did the Rancor, we did Rancor in the woods. It was at some guy's property, and it was like that. It was like 3 degrees outside.
Yeah.
And we were out there early. We were out there at 10 a.m. We were there all day.
Oh my god.
We finished at like 7. And the best part of it was the actors were fine because we all had on fur,
giant
foam
yeah.
costumes. So these guys, like, and I was acting in it. So I'm just standing there, and I'm like, but it was the camera guy, it was the lighting person, the sound person.
Yeah.
They were sitting off set like freezing, and I was like, I feel great. What do you got? How about you guys?
What's wrong with you?
And they're like, yeah, they were like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Let's get this done.
Yeah.
And
Fucking cold, man.
and-
Fucking cold.
I filmed a promo at a warehouse in Beacon.
Oh yeah.
It was what is it called? What is that place called?
Oh.
Dennings Point.
Yep.
Dennings Point, Beacon.
By the train station.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're changing it now. I think somebody bought it and they're renovating it. They're turning it into an actual like factory, whatever it was.
Okay.
But when we were there, it was abandoned. And I remember taking the wrestler upstairs, and when we got up there was a sleeping bag.
Oh my
Oh, shit.
Like somebody had already set up.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
they were coming back.
Right,
You know,
right.
so I was like, yeah. It was Jordan Oliver. I don't know if you ever heard Jordan Oliver. Jordan, he's an up and coming kid.
He's from
Big.
NEW.
He's from Newburgh.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
he wrestles at GCW.
Yeah.
He's in Japan. I think he's in Europe right now. But I was doing a promo for him.
Yeah.
And we were there, and I looked at Jordan and I said, dude, we got about 35 minutes before the sun goes down and this guy comes home.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's finish this. And
Yeah.
luckily, we were able to get all the shots done real quick, get the fuck out of there. But
That's
I'll
cool.
figure that. Yeah, we went up there and we were like, oh boy, what the fuck is this?
I was in a warehouse, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was being occupied.
This one was.
No squatters there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But yeah, the warehouse I filmed at was my mom's friend. He owned, like, it was his dad's factories, like old factories from when the town was like, what, steam powered or gas
Yeah.
run or whatever. And so the only problem was there was no electricity. And so he couldn't plug anything in. Like, lights had to be natural, lighting with the sun. There were certain parts in the ceiling where rain was coming in. So then that messed with audio.
Yeah.
And like also with where we could put the actors. But it looked awesome. It was like
Yeah.
worth it. It was cold, but there was one room that had like heat. So after each take, we'd all run back. But
You always got to be careful too
Yeah.
when you shoot because if, like, and I had this from filming Rancor, somebody screamed because it was written in the script.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And when they screamed, the people that were on site came running
Oh my god.
because they thought something had
was
happened.
Wrong, yeah.
Yeah, and like my like director had to run over there. Go, no.
Right.
Please don't stop there.
That
in the middle.
happened to me too because I forgot what movie it was, but it was on a college campus, and we were pretending that like someone was getting like a sniper was shooting someone. So the Q, my cinematographer at the time, was like, "Oh, just yell bang." I was like, "Don't yell bang on a college campus." And then the guy was screaming right after. I was like,
Yeah.
"How would we not do that?" It was also outside in the rain by a lake. Like right in front of the student union building. So I was like, how about we just say action instead? But yeah, that was another one. That's why I like to wear hoodies like this or shirts that say like director or crew, so that if people get weirded out.
People
Good
just
call.
walk right on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And they go, what's this? You know, and you're like, you're
Or they
right in the
watch.
fucking shot.
Yeah.
You're like,
Or they call the cops or the cops
some
come
people,
around.
yeah, that's happened.
Yeah.
Like they don't like what they.
Yeah.
Some people are crotchety and they're not
Yeah.
very appreciative. Like even if you're not on their property, you're just like right across the street filming somewhere.
Still
But they're
annoying
still
them.
righteous.
Yeah, but they're like,
Yeah.
no, I don't like. There people are out there filming. And it's like, no.
Yeah.
How dare you film in my
Yeah.
neighborhood?
It was one of the many reasons why I've transitioned into away from working
Live
with actors,
action.
live
Yeah.
action and stuff, and I've gone into more animation and stuff like that.
Right
Yeah.
on. I believe you guys both have touched on this, but let me just ask real quick once again. Have either of you had to act or play a role in one of your films because, you couldn't find someone to fill that role,
Oh, yeah.
or the person just was not the right fit and you couldn't,
Yeah, that happened many times.
Multiple times for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, I was the star of Rancor
Yeah.
because I just couldn't find anybody else to play the part
Yeah.
the way I wanted it. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll just do it. It was
Yeah.
one of those-
Right.
I didn't want to do it.
Right.
I was
Yeah.
just like, fuck it, I'll just do it because the costume I made all the costumes for it.
Oh,
So
sure.
it was designed, I made it for me because it wasn't for the movie, it was for like a con,
Cosplay?
it was a convention. So I had it and I was just like, fuck it, I'll just add to it, make it even better. And I did. And then I just said, all right, I'll make costumes for everybody else. And then by that point, I was just like, I have to be it because I don't think anybody's going to fit in this costume.
Yeah.
So I was just like, fuck it. And then I did. And then my second school project was a time travel movie.
That was so good. Yeah.
And I couldn't find anybody
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
wanted to act.
Yeah.
Because I don't, I know she likes to ex-friends
Yeah.
to do it and stuff. I want you to want to act.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to act, then I don't want you there because then you're not really,
Right.
it's like you're
I
doing me
feel
a
that.
favor.
Yeah.
And then
You're
I
not
can't,
putting your heart in it.
yeah, I can't
Exactly.
I can't direct you any because you're not really there for that. So
Yeah.
I want someone to want to be, and no one really wanted to do it.
I feel
So
you.
I was just like, screw it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But in most cases, I like to not do it. But
Yeah,
I've
me too.
found myself quite a few times.
Yeah, like it was mainly during college because it was the end of the year and people were going home for the summer. So I had one actress. She was supposed to be the robot, it was called Oddment. So she was supposed to play the robot. So I only was able to record her voice before she left campus, and then we had a kid who did 3D effects, so he made my face like a robot. But it was supposed to be the same girl who voiced its face, and I was like, she's already gone, but I need
Yeah.
someone's face. So I didn't want to replace take her out of the movie, so I had to lip sync her lines and film my face so that he could then use my face to convert it. And then another time, I needed to be an extra in the back because no one else. Cause again, the campus was empty and
Right.
we only had who we had. And then I think I was in one more time. It was just background.
Yeah, you never really.
Oh wait, no. For Oddman, I did say one line and I messed it up because I was nervous because I was I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I want to
Right.
be behind it.
Yeah.
So when I was forced to, I was like, oh no. But now I don't.
For me, it was easy because of wrestling.
Yeah.
I was used to it already.
Yeah.
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 But I don't because even I don't like to put the belt on myself. You
Yeah.
understand? I don't want to do
I
that
do.
shit. So
Yeah.
I don't I try to not be in it because I don't want to be the star. I just want to be the guy directing. I just want to be the guy writing. I like
Right
to see
on.
shit behind the camera.
Yeah.
At least not anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you both real quick. How has technology changed filmmaking in recent years, in your guys' opinion? And in what ways have you both adopted new methods in your filmmaking, if any?
Yeah, we were just talking about that with iPhones.
But you can use a phone now to film everything.
Yeah, because we
Yes.
always have to bring these big DSLRs with tripods or stabilizer, and someone's gonna carry it, and then the microphones and the boom mics.
Yeah.
That's 4 people you need.
Now
But
it's all into
just
one.
an iPhone,
'Cause
yeah.
now you just get a gimbal, $100
Nice gimbal, yeah.
with a phone,
Yep.
and anybody can.
And
be
the
a
audio's
filmmaker.
good on
and
it,
the phone has cinematic mode,
Yep.
so it does everything for you. You
Yeah.
don't even have to set up the color correction or anything. It does it all for you now, and it's to me, that's the best part of AI is it's helping us. It's basically just streamlining the process. So now instead of me filming it in RAW, coming home, color grading it, adding a LUT package, doing this and that, the phone is doing it all for you. It's just here you go, ready to go.
Yeah.
You know, so it's changed in major ways. When I first started, I had a DSLR,
Yep.
and that was the best thing you could get at the time.
Yeah.
Then now I have big heavy cameras. I have 2 film cameras, and I have a live broadcast camera. But it's still you film with the phone, and it's just like right there in terms of quality, and just
Yeah.
like, what the fuck I bring all this shit for? I should have just brought the phone. You know?
Right.
And so
Broken back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like because even like lighting now, lighting has gotten smaller but brighter.
Yeah.
You know, I have small lights about this big,
Yeah.
and they can light up this whole room.
Yep.
Fucking LEDs.
Yeah, so it's just like, you know, like they changed so much in terms like she said, you don't have to lug around all of this stuff now. You just take a phone, couple of small lights,
Mhm.
you can just put them on clips. You just clip them somewhere, and then you're good to go. A GoPro, like it's gotten so small with
Yeah.
cameras, but I mean, it still doesn't beat a good DSLR or a
No.
good mirrorless camera.
But it does save the day when you need it, because remember when we were doing the documentary,
Yeah.
and the only problem is we forgot the memory card,
I brought my camera, forgot the
big
forgot the
big
memory card.
camera. Yeah,
So the camera was a paperweight.
yeah,
So my friend turned
We're
around, he
already
goes,
there.
I got a brand new iPhone.
yeah.
So you're like, all right. He put that thing on, and I looked at him and I said, buddy, this is just as good as if I would have hooked up that whole
And it
camera.
looked stabilized already.
Yeah, everything was good. I sent it to
her.
her. She was like, this is perfect. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, then good, we're good.
That's pretty dope.
So we're literally thinking about, at least for our own personal films, like just using a phone.
I just ordered the iPhone 15. I got it coming.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
like it's gonna change how I film things. I'm gonna use that more.
Okay.
In a sense,
Yeah.
like I said, when I use I currently have an iPhone 10.
Mhm.
And that is like just the quality. It's just like, all right, it's not terrible. I can use it. So I can only imagine when I get the new phone what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm very, very excited because it's gonna lighten the load in terms of because listen, at the last House of Glory show, we had to use my cell phone
Yeah,
to film
Was the promo?
to film a promo that was
Yeah.
happening next to me
yeah,
because I was right next to commentary,
Mhm.
and the guy worked his way up, and he was fighting right here next to me. And like I said, we were wired, so nobody can come back here.
Right.
And
I couldn't reach
and she
her.
couldn't because she was in a certain angle.
Yeah.
So I literally hooked my phone to my laptop that was hooked to the switcher,
Mhm.
and I said to the guy here, and he ran with my cell phone.
Yeah.
And he was filming. I just switched the camera. I switched the angle to my cell phone, and he filmed the whole fucking thing. And no one knew. No one
Yeah.
said anything. I was just like, it's like technology has gotten that far,
Yeah.
where I can literally just hook my laptop to the switcher that I'm using, and then run an OBS program on an output to it, and just give him my phone, and he can take it down the hall.
and
film what he
it
needed to.
rivaled or it matched enough that no
And it
one said
matched
anything.
enough that
The
no
4K
one-
cameras.
No one said anything.
Yeah.
You know, so
It was crazy.
it's just amazing how far we've come, and I'm excited to see how far it goes.
Yeah.
You know.
I also like to think that like TikTok is training a new generation of editors, at least to like
Yes.
edit
yeah.
on beat or with the cuts. They're like so crazy how people can like, I don't know, like if they change clothes and how they edit it with the music. Like I had to learn that the long and hard way. Like with my laptop at like age 13, I would like make music videos, and I learned how like where you cut to make it land on the beat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But now that's like how you become popular on TikTok. It's like that skill.
But what's
So I
also
just love
insane
it.
about TikTok
Yeah.
is like I've done it a few times with my things. I'll load in a video and it'll just say auto, and you
Yeah,
hit
you
auto,
just
and
do
it puts a song. It adds the transitions.
It edits to the
It does
song, yeah.
everything for you right to the song, so you don't even have to do it no more.
Yeah.
It's crazy how far. Like it's like she said, you would have to take footage home,
Yep.
put it on a computer, throw it on the timeline, cut it up, put the music down, find where you want to add sound effects, whatever you need. Now, boop, done. Here you
Yeah.
go. It's on the internet now. Yeah,
60 seconds, less than.
yeah, it's amazing.
Crazy.
It's
Like
amazing.
I think it's good and bad though, because the people who want to learn the art form of like how we did it, like Premiere Pro editing,
Yeah.
like taking it home, though I think those people will still do that.
I don't think that'll ever go away.
Yeah.
I just
The
but
people
I,
that need it quick can get it.
but now, like I said, the layman
Yeah.
can be a
Yeah.
content creator, can be a filmmaker,
Yeah.
just by clicking a button on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I mean, listen, has it made a bunch of filmmakers?
Yeah.
Yes, but it's also helped a lot of actual filmmakers. It made their life easier because they could use the technology to their advantage.
Yeah.
Right on. So you both agree that I mean it's been beneficial.
I think it's
Oh,
better.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. I know you both have mentioned this too, but real quickly, how many films have you each done? Diamonique, you
I
said
think
26?
like 26.
She's
now,
done
yeah.
26. I've done about 7.
Okay.
7 total. Yeah.
Yeah. Live action films.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
yeah.
are like written by you. Yeah.
Yeah, written in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to touch a little on one of your films, Blood Pawn.
Okay, yeah.
And it was because it was one that was recommended to us
Yeah.
through mutual people that
Yep.
we know, Frankie and,
Yeah.
and Danny.
Yeah.
And actually, we've kind of never met, but we do know that their third member, Taylor, was
yes.
in your movie as well.
Yep.
I mean, talk to us a little about that film, like the idea, the whole the whole process of the whole film.
Well, it actually came from a TikTok.
Okay.
Cause like, I was like, what's it called? When you can't think of a story.
Right, writer's block.
Yeah, I had writer's block for a long time, and I had 2 ideas that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which was like a vampire movie,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't know the twist that I wanted to do because like some people they can go during the day or they, I don't know, they sparkle like Twilight. Like I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then I also wanted to do like a mafia film, but like I just like the aesthetic of mafia films. I've never like really watched mafia films. Like it's funny, I don't like violence or gore in movies, so it's like I kind of avoid that, so I don't watch it myself. But I wanted the aesthetic of both things, so I was like, why don't I just combine it? Because then I saw this TikTok of like, I think it was like a Russian either security team or SWAT team, and how they all came out of like a black car in black suits, like together, like just choreographed it with like the music. I was like, this is so cool. So this is like the like mafia and like police SWAT type aesthetic that I wanted. But then I was like, why don't I just make because they were Russian. So I was like, okay, what if I add a fantasy aspect of like mythology? So it's like maybe not make them vampires, make them werewolves, like Russian werewolves. And I was like, okay, but then I still wanted the mafia part. So I was like, Italian mafia vampires. So I was like, okay. And I got both the aesthetics I wanted. And then I used that TikTok with the song and the video as like my main aesthetic that I would just refer back to every time I wrote it or like edit it or cast or something like that. And like that's how that idea came about. Because like I don't want a normal mafia film because it's been done so many times. And I don't want a normal vampire film because it was done so many times. And I couldn't think of any other way to fix it besides just combining it.
Felt pretty original.
Yeah, that's
That'll work.
I go for a lot. It's like I try to make things, I tweak it. Like I did the Frankenstein film, Video Diaries of VF, and it was the same Frankenstein story. I just made it like, it was still period, like still 1800s, but he was vlogging. Like what if he was vlogging his experiments? So like that was my twist on the Frankenstein story. I couldn't think of like a Dracula twist. So that was the premise of it. But yeah.
Nice. How long did it take to
Oh.
film that movie or that film?
That was the longest. That was almost a year. It was from February to October.
Wow.
It was insane because
Okay.
like it was always either weather or casting. Like it's funny in the behind the scenes video you could see like every season, and you see my long hair, and then I cut my hair. Like in the behind the scenes, like you see like snow, you see like summer, like it's crazy because it took literally all year, and I think that was the longest I ever did because before that it only took me 4 months because I like to, you would say rush. Some people say I rush films, but I like to get things done quick so I can move on to the next thing. But that one, I guess it was just so long, and I had no other ideas, like because usually that's why I want to rush is because I have all these competing films I want to do.
Right.
But because I was like kind of still on writer's block, that was the only idea I had. So that's why I was able to go for, what was that, 8 months? No,
That was
10
a while,
months.
yeah. Because I mean, you brought me in to edit,
Yeah.
to help you edit
Halfway through, yeah.
it. Yeah.
Because I was like, it was all jumbled. And I was like, I need someone to help me,
Yeah.
like, make it make sense. Because it's just been so long that it's like, it was loose. Like, I had to tie up loose ends with
Well, because
story.
I remember coming in
Yeah.
on the editing process with her, and she was telling me, she's like, I have all of it here. I can't make it like make sense.
Yeah.
And then I was watching thing, and the one thing I noticed immediately was I was like, you have the same actor twice. And she's like, yeah, I know, because this guy. I was like, well, then just eliminate the part.
Yeah.
Just he's in this one scene.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Just take it out. And
Yeah.
then she was like, but I was like, don't but. Trust me. And then like she trusted me. She gave me a little trust, and I cut it together a little bit. And then she was like, oh my God, now it it has a coherent
flows.
flow.
Flows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's what you need when it comes to a short film. Like, you don't have to be a film buff.
No.
You just got to know how a story goes.
Yeah.
It's got to have a flow.
Yep.
So you don't have to be Joe Filmmaker.
Right.
You just got to know how a story goes.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You told me to put the extra scene at the end.
Yeah, she had one
After the
scene in the
credits.
middle of the movie.
And it made no
was just
sense.
there. And it was just
Yeah.
throwing off the whole flow.
Yeah.
And I said, if you really want this in the film,
Yeah.
just put it in the credits.
Yeah.
And then if you want people to see the scene,
Yeah.
you know, and then she was like, okay. So she did. And then after the credits, it's just, and it actually made the movie make sense because it ties up a loose end.
Yep.
Because the one guy is alive, and then in the end, then you see how he dies.
Yeah.
So it ties up some stuff.
I actually remember what you're talking about, that
Yeah.
scene, because I
Yeah.
did watch the movie.
Yeah.
the film.
That was a funny. If I could just interject the story about
Absolutely.
that scene, that was Mario when he gets stabbed with the
Yeah.
So that was the first time I met him. I was like, oh, like here's the address, and he just shows up to this warehouse, like this abandoned looking warehouse, and I was like to my dad, because my dad helps on a lot of sets. I was like, can you just go to the door and make sure he doesn't freak out when he enters and just sees like a warehouse, and then yeah, so he's like, oh, this is pretty cool. Like, he was a good sport about everything. And especially when, I don't know if you saw the bloopers, but like my actress went too into the scene and like into her character, and she like hit him hard, and the seat fell back. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened the first time he's working with me. And I'm like, this is so bad.
You're going to hurt him.
Yeah, exactly. But like the seat was good enough so that his hands went in the thing, and like there was a piece of wood in the back that like protected his arms.
Yeah.
So he was fine. But I was just like, not only did I scare him with the location, but I almost like, hurt him. But like, yeah. But that was cool because like he loved his role, and he helped on another film.
When I came on
Yeah.
and I watched it,
Yeah.
I said to her, I was like, this is a great idea. It's very original. You know, vampires, mafia, it kind of meshes well.
Yeah.
You know, they're rival families and they're different species or whatever. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, you just have to, like she rushes.
Yeah, I do.
So she wants the finish line. I said, you got to enjoy the process.
Yeah.
You can't just go from start and then jump to the finish, because then you didn't even enjoy the process. So you got to slow it down. You got to go through it and just see what makes sense. And sometimes you got to reshoot things. And she did. She learned.
Yeah, I had to reshoot a lot because how long it was in between shots and stuff like that. But yeah.
And I think it was next to Royal Ball Heist. Was like
that
your
was-
most produced film.
Yeah.
Like you
That
put-
one was 4 months. That was
Yeah, you put the
but I
most
had
work
help,
into it.
yeah. But that was crazy because I had to direct. Like, I'm a shy person, so I kind of think that's why I forced myself into the directing role as well, to try to get myself out of my shyness, because I like would never have dreamed of talking to people, let alone telling them what to do in front of a camera. So like I did Royal Ball Heist. That was my entry film to try to get into NYU, and that didn't work.
That sucks.
but like at least I learned
Right.
like that I could direct like 80 people at once. Like we were in a ballroom and everyone was dressed up in costumes we gave them, and like that was like the most nerve-wracking day of my life. But also like I can do that, even though I was super shy. So like that's why I think I kind of like thrive off the rush now of like when things go wrong, because it's like I know I can handle it if I could handle that. So
Nice.
it's like
All right. Let me ask you both then real quick. Which one, or out of the films that you guys have done, which one was the most challenging for you?
For me, it was Rancor, for sure, because it was a period piece, and I was doing it during film school too, and I was directing class, and the teacher said to me, I don't think you should do this because it's too ambitious, because each class was a month. And he said, you have to make costumes, you have to do all that, because it's a period piece, you have to make it look like a certain way. You're not going to be able to do this in 4 weeks. And I said, okay. And he said, what does it mean? You're going to change it? I was like, no. I was like, I'm going to show you that I can. And he was like, okay. And then I literally, no sleep, just staying up, sewing costumes, sewing leather of all things too, which was not fun, putting it all together. I had to hire a makeup artist. I had to find somebody who was going to make my friend look like an orc. So I had to find a mask. It was, and then like I said, it's freezing outside. Then I had to wear all this shit, direct the actors, and I mean it took a month, you know. But it felt like it took 6 months because
Right.
it was just so much, and it went and compacted into that 4-week period. That by the end of it, when it was done, and I was happy, I was proud of it when I watched it back. But like, I she can watch her shit over and over and over again. I can watch mine maybe once.
Right.
No, I can only watch certain films of mine over.
If
and
I
over
see
again.
myself too many times, I'm like, all right, change this shit. Like, I don't want to see it all. Yeah, like I don't. I'm just. But that to me, when I was done, I was like, all right, that was a pretty damn good learning experience. you know?
Nice. Good for you, bro.
You said most challenging.
Yeah.
It'd either be Royal Ball Heist because that was. I wish I had 8 months to do that one, because it was had to fit in a 4-month thing because I needed to submit my thesis.
Yeah.
Like it was my thesis film. Well, not thesis because that means you're in school. Like the submission film.
Yeah.
Because of that, it made everything like 10 times more pressure. So like I had to find people, like an actress. We ordered clothes in her size, and then the day before filming, she's like, "Oh, I'm not doing this."
Wow.
I was like, so now I have to not only find someone, but I have to find someone that fits in her outfit. So
Tough.
like, and then like that was just one thing. Then we had to find like all these things and make sure we can, like, we had one day where we filmed from 6 a.m. at an airport. Then we had to go all the way like across, I don't know what bridge, but like to forgot a town, to like the ballroom where 80 people then came. Then we had to like feed them all, make sure everyone's costumes were good, make sure then direct like how it happened, because we also had a dance scene in that one. So that was like literally like 6 a.m. to like I think like 7 p.m. So like nonstop filming that day, and it was just like every challenge that could have happened happened. And also I had newbie camera kids, like they were learning to be cinematographers, so it's like that's double directing, because now you gotta tell them how to work the camera while telling the actor what to do. So I'd say that film was my most challenging for like every single reason. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Which one had the highest budget?
I'd say Rancor.
Okay.
Only because of all the costumes. Like when I started making them, I was just like, this could be easy. This isn't gonna be that hard. And then, I mean, like a moron, I said that, because then like 2 weeks later, I'm like $400 or $500 over budget because I'm spending just throwing money around, like it's because I just need more costumes. I need this belt. I need this sword. I need this armor piece. It's just, so by the end of it, I was just like, Jesus Christ, I'm in the hole. When you, like I said, when you make a movie, you have to love it.
Yeah.
Because there's no guarantee you can make money on it.
Right.
So just make sure you do it for the love of the game. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say Europe, because you handmade everything.
Yeah.
We like got like cheap, either from thrift stores or like online from like China. So that's another thing why it took so long. We had to wait for the costumes to come in, then like get everyone's measurements and stuff. But like, and then all we really had to pay for was the location, because everyone was helping me, because it was my film, like to get into college. So it was like everyone was doing me a favor kind of thing.
Nice.
So like it was just food and then the location and then like the bit we did for the costumes. So like that helped keep things down, because it was like such a student project. But yeah, I'd say yours was because like you had to make everything.
That, like I said, it went up quick.
Yeah.
Like the time travel one was easy because it was filmed in my house.
Yeah.
I have all the technology, like the computers and screens and shit. I had all that already, so I have to buy that stuff. But I quickly learned that the biggest mistake people can make is do a period piece.
Yeah.
Because you have to spend so much money on costumes, locations have to look correct. It's a lot. And props, it's a lot. And makeup, so it's not fun.
I'm lucky though, because my mom's what's it called, event planner. So and we like dressing up. We'd go to like costume contests. So we already have we have like Victorian dresses. We have like 1920s dresses. We have like mannequins for props and stuff, like for our costumes. So we have a lot of kind of crazy costumes already, because like that's my mom and I's passion, is like dressing up. So that also kept budget down, because we have a lot of that stuff, because we like that stuff. But
Nice.
yeah, other than that, it was just like location and stuff, which was hard.
Location, a lot of people don't know this, but the most expensive thing in a film is makeup.
Yeah.
It's
the artists and stuff.
It's the makeup artist.
Yeah.
Because makeup is not cheap.
No.
And it depends on how the actresses are gonna look,
Right.
even the actors. It depends what kind of makeup you're gonna get. So that could really fuck a budget.
No.
It gets really expensive really quick.
What's the farthest that you've each had to travel for location for a film?
If it's wrestling, Delaware. If it's regular film, up here. I'd have to come to Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even think of. Like, I try not to go that far because I also think about the actors.
Mm-hmm.
I try to do like locations where we meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Like most of my films have been in Goshen around my hometown, and I usually only like cast people who are like within, I don't know, like 20 miles of the location. So I try to keep it local. But I can't think of the town where that ballroom was filmed.
Wasn't it like Campbell Hall or something?
No, it was like past the not Bear Mountain, but like a bridge that goes to a mountain, someplace like that. But I'd say that was the farthest because it took like, I don't know, maybe an hour because we had to rush from like the airport to there.
Okay.
So it was, I'd say that was it.
I was in the mountains for Rancor. Like I got
wow.
upstate.
You hiked.
Yeah. And you had to walk. It was, but the guy owned all the land, so that's why we did it.
Right.
Because we didn't have to worry about anybody stopping us.
Mm-hmm.
But that was not fun.
Where can all these films be found that you guys have done?
On
You can
YouTube.
find mine on YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
on
Okay.
False Finish Productions.
Cool.
Yeah, that's where we have all our stuff. We
Yeah.
have comedy
Crown Fox.
skits too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I directed all of that too. So I count those too because they're like mini short films too.
Absolutely.
So there's comedy skits and there's a couple of short films.
Right
And that's
on.
with all the wrestling videos too.
That's also with all the wrestling that we
Yeah.
produced too. There's a lot of wrestling on there too.
Yeah. And mine's on CrownedfoxProductions. That's the only place I put my films up is there. All of them are there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Angela, you got anything else?
Yeah, you said you started a podcast.
Oh yeah.
What is that called?
So it's called Broke Indie Filmmaking. We've only done 2 episodes so far.
So far, yeah.
Broken
And
Indie, you said?
Broke Indie.
Broken.
Yeah. So it's like trying to tell people how to make films on a budget because a lot of people kind of get like
I just try-
they don't
giving
want to do
people
it
pointers,
because of the
you know?
budget. Yeah.
So sometimes making films are a little bit intimidating because
Yeah.
it could be expensive.
Yeah,
we
they get
just
scared
kinda
of
just
that.
give you tips on how to get around it.
Yeah, and like just to try to keep the quality for like low cost.
Yeah.
Like I don't want people to be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna do it in my kitchen." I was like, "You don't have to do it in your kitchen. Like you can ask around." Like for Royal Ball Heist, I was like, "It'd be really cool if I had a plane in my movie." My mom's like, "Well, I know a pilot." So I went to his house and he was like, "Do you want to be in a movie?" He's like, "Yeah, I would love to be in a movie. Like, can I have some lines?" Like, so we gave him some lines. He's like, "Do you want me to fly my plane? Do you want to go inside?" Or like, "No,
That's
we just
awesome.
need it for the
So
shot."
accommodating.
But yeah, so it's like you can make good things if you just like ask around.
just-
That's
Yeah.
kind of
Put
the
it out
point.
there. You don't never
Yeah.
know until you ask. You know.
Yeah, so we give like little tips on
Yeah.
different aspects of production on
Then
how
I
to
have
do that.
I have 2 more podcasts.
Yeah.
One is the False Finish podcast.
Yep.
I do that with my buddy Brandon and Ming. And I have Spot Monkey Radio. That's on Fight World Live. That's not on False Finish.
Yeah.
It's on Fight World Live with this gentleman by the name of Dave Potter, who has a whole MMA conglomerate now. He's at all the UFCs and everything like that. So he wears a wrestling show on his
Nice.
network.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, obviously, we're big into podcasting too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool.
Yeah,
that
ours is
you
on
guys good-
Spotify, and I'm also doing it on
Wherever you can find
YouTube.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're on all this.
Let me ask you guys one last question for me.
Yep.
What advice would you give aspiring filmmakers who are just starting their careers?
I'd say just do it.
Just do it.
Don't
Like-
go to film school.
Don't
yes.
go to film
Yeah,
school.
that's the big running joke of our podcast too.
I graduated at the top of my class,
Yeah.
and I realized halfway through it I didn't need any of it.
Yeah, because when I was looking into like New York Film Academy and NYU, and then I went to like those orientations, and I was like, this
All you
is
gotta
just
do-
what I'm already doing.
All you got to do
Yeah.
Yeah.
is know how to tell a story.
Yeah.
As long as you can tell a story, you have a cell phone.
Yep.
Just find people who want to help you tell that story,
Yep.
and just go to work.
Mhm.
That's it. Don't think, oh, is this going to be too much money? There's always a way around things. There's always a way to find a way to cut the budget.
Yep.
Just find people who are passionate, who want to do it as much as you do, and do it.
Yep.
Don't think twice. Just like if you're gonna be if you're gonna let fear stop you, you'll never get it done. That's one thing I learned.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid. Just don't be afraid to fail because you're gonna fail.
Oh yeah,
There's a
they're
lot
all
of-
gonna suck. For
It's
so
trial and
long.
error. It's
Yeah.
trial and error until you figure it out.
Yeah, and you're not gonna like any or all or some. Like I think if you really like your stuff, then you
I-
might need a second opinion.
I take a line from Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
He said, "If you're not physically sick from the first cut of your movie,
Yeah,
you're not a good filmmaker."
that's so good. Yeah, because
So
I
you
can
gotta be
only watch
you
like
gotta
two.
you can only be like, this shit sucks.
Yeah, you have to
but
know your
it's
stuff
a part
is
of the
not good.
process. It's a
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
of the process. Yeah.
You have to like your stuff enough to be inspired by your own work, and you're like, I could do better next time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't get in your head. It's like, oh, I did. Like, just be proud of finishing it. Like, you're not gonna like how it looks because I don't like how any of mine look. But like, I like certain things enough to want to keep going. So I think that's
Also-
another thing.
Don't be I've learned a few things because recently I've gotten into, like I said, animation stuff
Yeah.
with stop motion and this new thing called play motion, where you just basically play with the toys. Your hands are in the shot. I mean, I've
Action
seen
figures,
some
yeah.
things where people are fully in the shot,
Yeah.
and as long as the story's good,
Yeah.
as long as the audio is good, as long as it has good music and great sound effects, brother, they won't even know you're in the shot.
Yeah.
They won't even
It's
see
crazy.
the hands.
It's like a weird like.
So as long as I always tell
illusion
people,
or
as you have a
something.
good story, you can tell a good story.
Yep.
You can shoot that any way you want, as
Yep.
long as the story is good and it's concise and people can understand it. They can hear the audio. That's another thing about film that I always tell people: if video is bad, people will continue to watch, but if audio sucks, they will change the channel. They will
Yeah.
turn it off.
Yeah.
So just always keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So just learn how to tell a story. Make sure all your equipment works.
Yes.
I've come full victim to that multiple times, and you'll be okay.
Yep.
You'll be right as right, man.
That's great advice. We're gonna be wrapping it up soon. Dominique,
Yeah.
Tony, is there anything else that you would, want to ask either myself or Angela?
How long you guys been doing this podcast?
I mean, the podcast itself has been going about, I think, 3 years or so.
Okay.
I started it about 3 years ago. Angela has come on board. Maybe it's been about a year now.
Maybe
or-
just coming up on.
Okay.
on a year. So,
Who's your favorite wrestler?
who's my favorite wrestler?
All time.
All time.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive, man. Doesn't matter.
My God, that's such a hard question. I don't know, bro. There's so. I mean,
Top three then.
top three. Top three was Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold, and right now Adam Cole.
Adam
Like,
Cole, huh?
he's still.
It's always I've always been this Macho Man Randy Savage has always
he's my favorite.
held a soft spot for me.
Yeah.
I'll never forget my first day watching pro wrestling. It was WrestleMania 4, and I watched him win the title.
Mm-hmm.
And he had 4 costume changes. He
Really?
changed the robe and the tights. And I just remember turning around to my brother, and I was like, "Who's that guy?" And that was at the end. Hogan shook his hand. They formed the Mega Powers, and that's I was like, "That's Macho Man Randy Savage. That's the next guy." And I was just like, "That's my guy."
Nice.
And then in 1990, when Undertaker came out, I was just like, "This guy's dead." Like, what? Wait, what? He can't kill him. He can't feel no pain. Like, I was always a big fan of the characters.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah,
But,
he was.
Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time. Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
I'll agree with you 100%. Greatest performer of all time, bar none. I don't care what anybody says. Can't argue with me.
I mean, I do like. I'm also a big Randy Orton fan. I forgot
Randy
about
Orton
him.
is the greatest of this generation.
Mhm.
I'll argue that point with anybody. Especially, I've never seen a guy make it look so easy. The only other guy in my lifetime that made it look that easy was Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, I'm a big. I like Brett too. I
Bret,
really-
to me, he was the one who made me believe that I could be a wrestler.
awesome.
Because Macho Man made me want to be a wrestler because of the character base, but Bret made it look so easy that I was like,
Yeah, he
I
was
think I
smooth.
can do this. And it was just so I based my whole wrestling style off him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I should mention too, because I have in past wrestling shows that I've done. I do always want to mention. even though people sometimes talk shit about it, I was a huge X-Pac fan too.
I love Sean
Also,
Waltman.
yeah, he
Sean
was one of
Waltman,
my.
A lot of people don't, in 1995, Sean Waltman was a measuring stick. So if you were new and you came into WWF, they'd make you fight him. And then he would come backstage and tell you if you were dog shit or not. He was the guy who walked backstage and told Vince McMahon that Shane Douglas was terrible. And Shane Douglas lasted about 3 months.
Yeah.
So X-Pac, highly underrated guy. Very underrated guy.
Yeah, he was one of my favorites. But shit, we're gonna be wrapping it up.
Yep.
You know, bro, I could talk wrestling all night with you, man. But once again, Diamonique, Tony, thank you both so much for agreeing to come on. It's all relative.
Thank you.
We'll start with you,
Yeah.
Diamonique. Is there anyone or anything that you'd like to plug or shout out?
I like to plug your other channel, the Legend series.
Oh, thank you so much.
That's like the action figure story. They're like he's coming out with an amazing. Was it a feature film or are you doing episodes?
It's episodic.
Yeah, so it's gonna look so cool. It literally looks like tiny film sets. It's just like dioramas and stuff like that.
I've gotten big into collecting action figures.
Yeah.
And then I don't like to display. I like to play. So I just started creating like stop motion
The
and then went to
films
play
out of
motion.
them,
And
yeah.
I was showing her some stuff that I've done already.
Yeah.
They're very big fans of them. I'm very happy to be. It's Legend series
Yeah.
Nice.
on
I
YouTube,
also-
on Instagram.
Yeah. And I also want to obviously thank Dan and Frankie for shouting me out in the first place, having us come on here.
Absolutely.
And then I also want to shout out, because if you like wrestling, Felix could come on here.
A couple of my buddies. If you're ever looking to have guys on the show, I can give you a couple
Yeah.
names.
Okay.
Local
Let
guys,
me.
too.
Let me. Yeah, actually, we could just real quick because I mean we
Yeah.
do ask the guests that we do have on the show. Is there anyone that you guys might recommend? You know.
Yeah,
For
I
sure
recommend
wrestling.
Felix Davila. He's an up-and-coming wrestler. I've trained him,
Yeah.
so he's going to be good. He's got a good head on his shoulders. There's another guy in the area.
What's his Instagram? Crazy
The
Puerto Rican?
no, the,
Crazy Rican?
Puerto Rican bulldozer.
Oh, Puerto Rican
PR
bulldozer.
I think.
Yeah.
And then Dom De Niro. He's another kid in the local, and he's getting around. He's
Nice.
gonna be somebody too, I think. So
Yeah.
Dom and
I think
Dom
if
De
you
Niro.
liked wrestling, they'd be cool to talk to. Because
Yeah, if you
also,
saw some
Dom
of
does film.
Yeah, Dom is a film school guy.
Yeah.
He went to film. He loves storytelling too.
And Felix was an actor in my film.
Felix.
He likes film
those
too.
guys. If you ever want to sit talk wrestling on your show, I'd
And film
highly
too,
recommend
yeah.
those.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What are both of your guys' social medias in case fans want to get at you?
Yeah.
So, we're mainly on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah. No, I got a bunch of.
Oh, yeah.
On YouTube, it's YouTube False Finish Productions. It's on all the channels.
Okay.
The reason I have to say that is because somebody else started a False Finish channel.
Yeah.
And
with the
they-
same name.
They got a shit ton. I think they got our overflow. So
Yeah.
False Finish Productions on YouTube, and then like she said, Legend series.
Yeah.
If it's on Instagram, it's Legend_series.
Yep.
Please give me a follow, like, and subscribe. I can really use all the help I can get.
And
Absolutely.
mine's Crown Fox Productions on both Instagram and YouTube. And our Spotify podcast,
Yeah.
Broke Indie Filmmaking,
Yeah.
is on Spotify, I think, on all the channels. And then I put the episode also on my YouTube channel too, like
And,
afterwards.
if you want to hear some outlandish shit, you can listen to the False Finish podcast.
Yeah.
Me
Yep.
and my buddy Ming and my buddy Brandon, we get pretty smoked up, and we say some outlandish shit about wrestling, sports. It's
Yep.
it's
Awesome.
a good time.
Good time.
Yeah.
And Spot Monkey Radio too. I've said some crazy shit on Spot Monkey Radio. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, Angela, what are your social media accounts?
Some random Ange78 on Instagram. And you can also do our IG page, which is it's_all_relative_podcast. Check us out, like us, follow us, leave recommendations, ideas, questions. Let us know if you want to be a guest or if you have somebody you would recommend to be a guest. Just to say hi.
Yeah.
That's fine too.
All right, and you guys can always find me at Josh_Toth3. That's my Instagram, and my Facebook is Joshua Toth. Big shout out to Stellar Sound and Media and our editor Jackson Wallace.
Also, a big shout out to Timber Design and Build and the whole team. If you're interested in home renovations, improvements, additions, clean quality work, contact Chris Rawl or Jeff Wigman through the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media platform.
And where
also,
can they find the show?
Also, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify for podcasters, YouTube and YouTube Music, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. Like, follow, subscribe to It's All Relative. It really helps us out all the way around. So.
Yes, please. If you're using Apple Podcasts or Spotify to listen to the show, please remember to leave a quick review and a rating. Those help us out and the show out greatly. If you want to leave negative comments, direct those to the It's All Relative Instagram page and not on the Apple page.
Yes, I will be nice.
So, all right, that's a wrap. Diamonique, Tony, thanks again.
Well, thank you guys so much for having us, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right, everyone, stay safe, stay kind, stay proud and powerful, and we'll see everyone soon. Peace.
Peace.